Hey guys, this is gonna be the first time I'm gonna try and do this. So this is my jade plant. I have posted my other jade plants, but this is really mine. My husband has his own and it's a few years old, and we have successfully propagated that. However, this is the first time I'm gonna propagate from mine. And the reason is because I want mine to be more of a tree looking plant and not kind of bushy looking, if that makes sense. So I have done this before, but from his clone, not from this one. So I'm a little bit more comfortable in what to do. I'm sorry, I got a canker sore, so it really kind of hurts to talk, but I just wanted to do this today. And so, these are my, they're just scissors for, gardening. Don't worry, everything will be linked down below. So, oh, hold on, I forgot something. All right, so I'm back. So there's not really a lot that I'm gonna get. This is only a few months old. And I just wanna grow within the pot as well. And the reason I wanna do that is because from my personal experience, growing one and making it really crowded in the pot really did encourage my plants to thrive for this particular plant, which is a jade. So I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to just start right now. There we go. And what I'm going to do after getting this tiny cutie little out is I'm going to dip it in the rooting hormone powder. Oh, I made a little mess right there. Right there. I'm just going to dip it like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it down in the dirt. Actually, I'm going to put it where it was, close to it, just so I can kind of tell later on where that was from. But I will be splitting them up though. The other one that I did propagate, that my husband really thought was dying, that one, after about 2-3 months of growing, because it did survive and it did have, it had a ton of roots, I transplanted it and gave it to my mother-in-law when she visited, because she was saying she really likes my plants, yada, 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 and I wanted to transplant them anyway, and I was just kind of waiting for the right time, so I thought that might be the right time. So I'm just going to push this down right here, just so I know where I got it from, and I'm just going to turn this around. So again, what I'm doing is I'm cutting them, and just so you know, I do clean my shears and my pruning shears right after I use them. I do not have any kind of disease in any of my plants because I believe, because I make it to a point that I really do clean them every single time after I do use them. I think that does help in preventing disease. And I also don't put my plants and my indoor plants outside in the summertime. To me, it helps prevent a lot of disease and a lot of pests, because it doesn't have the outside elements to it. So I think this might be the last one I'm going to do, because there's nothing really else. Again, I want this to look more like a tree. And that's why I'm going to try and trim as much as possible. The bottom ones though, what I'm trying to do with that, if I could, but I'm not really successful in propagating leaves yet. What I want to do is just cut that up and propagate them and make it into their own individual tree. But again, I'm not successful in doing that yet, but from my experience and from my research, it seems that that is a little bit harder because there's no stem involved or bark. And with that, it's just a little bit harder and it takes a lot longer for new roots to grow. So I have one more right here, which is great for me. And again, all I do is dip it in the powder. I just dip the bottom. And I'm just going to put it right here. Actually, yeah, right here. So that one's a big one. The more leaves you get from a stalk that you want to propagate, the more it can absorb the light, the more it can ingest that, combine it with the water that they also do ingest, and, you know, that produces energy for the plant and it produces growth. So there you go. This is, I'm sorry, I got a canker store. So this isn't really like my most favorite thing, but I do have it and I'm trying it out. It doesn't work all the time, but I still use it because I don't want to waste it. I do have, and I will just water this really quick. I do have a supplement, and I'm just going to water that real quick just to kind of encourage some root growth, because what I'm watering them is something with the root booster hormone in there as well. So I'm making sure as much as possible I'm getting all of that, because why not, right? Some people like use their own saliva, which I think is icky, but whatever works for you. If it works for you, why not? And you're not grossed out. Me, I'm grossed out. Like, that's something I just can't deal with. So, sucks for me, but that doesn't mean you can't try it out. People just, you just gotta work with what really works best for you. And this works best for me. So, I'm just gonna do this. What my husband and I were like planning to do was, he was going to buy just one jade. He kind of really started putting this seed in my head. I gave him that jade as a birthday present a few years ago. And now it's like, I would say a little over a foot tall. It used to be about 2 to 3 inches, maybe less than 3 inches. I think it was like more about 2 inches, maybe an inch and a half to 2 inches. And so let me just show you this. So he's like really fond of the bonsai, doing a bonsai and stuff like that. That's not really something for me. I want mine to be completely different and the opposite. I want mine to be completely leafy and gigantic and just as big and lush and as gigantic as possible. But the way he's been doing his jade is it kind of looks like a tree. And the way I used to use my jade is more like a bush. And I'm not liking that anymore, just because it's kind of hard, really. I don't want it to be bushy in the bottom. I want it to be bushy like on the top part. So whenever there's like growth on the sides, I'm just going to prune it. I really was against pruning before, because again, I prefer mine to be just super lush and big and thick and stuff like that. So I just encouraged and let it grow naturally. Now, I prefer now to get it to be as thick as, to make it tall and then make it bushy. Because I've seen a lot of jade plants from my Facebook groups, like the plant groups. And they're very, very beautiful when it looks like that. And I think it's just easier to handle, especially when you're going to transplant it, when it, it reaches a certain point where it's too big for the pot already. So there's just a lot of advantages to do that, not just aesthetically, but to do that. So that's why I started to do this. And this is the first time ever that I am recording this while I'm propagating it. And this is the first time ever that I am cutting from this particular plant. I have never trimmed this plant before. I've never pruned it. I've never tried to propagate this plant. It's always from my husband's plant, his mother plant. This is my mother plant. And what we would like to do is just keep on growing Jade. If we're going to run out of room, which we're kind of far from that right now, is we're just going to give it to like friends or family or sell it or whatever. But obviously I'm going to try and keep it as long as I can and do that. If you guys want to try a very easy beginner plant, I would recommend a Jade. And I did talk about the Jade as one of the beginner plants. It's a very forgiving plant, especially indoor gardening. I would suggest a Jade plant. Again, it's very forgiving. And all the stuff that I'm using for this plant is going to be down below. The fertilizer, the supplements, all that good stuff. So you guys don't have to, do your own research. As always with all of my videos, I try to make it as convenient as possible with you guys so that it's easy to do that. It's my personality, and when I do look at videos, I do look at the description section because I'm interested in what's going on and where to find the products and more info on the products and stuff like that. So this is what I'm trying to do. This has grown, but as a succulent, it doesn't really grow, it doesn't grow fast. I would say this is more of a slow grower. However, what I have noticed, I have grown Jade without any kind of supplement or fertilizer. It is slow growing because it's a succulent. But when you do add fertilizer, it does kind of boost it a little bit. I did just recently switch fertilizer. I will be switching again in the future just to kind of experiment, which would be better. I have noticed though with supplementing, just one supplement for now. The next time I water, there would be a secondary supplement in there, but for right now it's just the one. And of course the rooting hormone for the new clippings. What I usually have noticed is that if the fertilizer kind of helps it like one step up, the supplement kind of helps it like 2, 3, 4 steps up. Like it's a huge difference. So I'm kind of experimenting with supplements, and I don't want to shock my plants. So I'm going to do one at a time because I just purchased 2 different kinds, and I didn't want to throw out the premix with the fertilizer and the one supplement that I did. So I had to use all of that and slowly integrate a second supplement. And then after a few weeks or months, I'm going to add the other supplement. I know I bought them all together. I just got too excited. And of course, I bought a different fertilizer to kind of test them all out as well and see if I could just use one fertilizer from this company. And if that works out well, then I don't have to buy like 5, 6, 7 different kind of fertilizers for all different kinds of plants that I have, because I don't just have succulents. I have orchids, I have foliage plants, I have snake plants, I have corn plants, I have fill leaf fig plants, and those like just need different kinds of fertilizers. So I have bonsai, which I don't want to keep as a bonsai, but anyway, that's why. So right now I'm using, they're going to be down below just so I do not mix and match, because there's just a lot of stuff going on, and I just don't want to give you guys the wrong information by saying one thing, but then it's not really the right one that I'm using. So it's going to be down in the description section, just like all of my social media accounts. And if there's anything else that I didn't really include or I didn't articulate, I apologize. Let me know down below in the comment section. And don't forget to like my video. Of course, hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and of course the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. I will update this particular plant as often as I can. If I do notice a little bit of growth, if I notice some growth, I will do an update on this, which is what I'm also doing with my other plants and anything else in my plant vlog series. So just stay tuned. Hopefully in about a few weeks or a month or whatever, hopefully sooner, about that time frame or less, I have an update on this one. But if not, just stay tuned. I will definitely do an update. And thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. So now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this somewhere else. I'm going to clean this, disinfect it as much as possible, just kind of sterilize it. Sterilization is basically just cleaning it thoroughly. Okay, so what I do is I clean it really thoroughly. A lot of people have different ways to do it. Whatever works for you is the best. And what I just usually do is I just use, I will link it down below, an all-purpose cleaner with it, and it's all vegan and plant-based. So I've sprayed it on my plants, and they're fine with it. I even use it to clean my leaves now, and it doesn't harm my plants. It doesn't burn my plants. So I use it with my this kind of shear and my pruning shears, the bigger one. The reason I'm not closing it is because I just use this, and I don't want I just don't want this to go bad. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm gonna clean that up. I'm gonna put all the stuff away, and I'm gonna put my plant where it belongs in my shelf. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for stopping by.